Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, welcome you here in this hall. This is a special session dedicated for a rather special subject related to transport in general terms. This is going to be about security. My name is Zoltan Kazatsay. I am the Deputy Director General of DG Move from the European Commission. And before I enter into the substance, may I ask you to listen to some technical instructions which I also received from the organizers. First of all, there is an interpretation going on for 4 languages, if I am not mistaken: English, French, German, and Russian. And you can see the channel numbers over there. Channel number 11, English, 10, French, 9, Russian, and 8, German. At the same time, may I ask you to turn off your mobiles, because they may have an interference with the micros. The discussion today is going to be done in an interactive way, which means that we expect you as the audience to intervene and to put questions or whatever. So there will be micros available. Please don't fiddle with the micro, because they are already turned on, and you just have to speak in it and nothing else. That was asked me to put an emphasis on, so please follow this instruction carefully. Today, security, and we are talking about transport-related security, is considered to be an extremely sensitive issue, because it has different relevances. It is dealing with political decisions, it is dealing with technological development, and last but not least, it deals with educational issues. I would not add to this that security means that there is a huge business in the world globally, which covers a lot of people, involves a lot of money, and at the same time, if it is not there, it may have serious consequences on other different sectors. Why is it so important? Transport-related security has serious challenges. It has to face with the reality that the transport system, as it is, it should be an open system. So the accessibility should be provided for all the customers there, or else the transport will not fulfill its original responsibility or the target. That is to move persons and cargo from one point to the other. At the same time, it moves large number of people at a time, which means practically that if there is something happening, there is a serious damage in human lives, and there could be serious damage in the values of the products which are also transported in huge quantities. We are talking about security. Many people think that security relates to terrorism, but in fact, security should cover different issues which are capable to prevent unlawful interference with transport activities, like individual loss of goods values due to unlawful interference. Or we should not forget about organized crime, which is there. And of course, terrorism is also there. And probably this is the most serious challenge for the transport sector. Normally, when there is an interruption in the transport procedures due to such an influence, it is not the operator who is targeted by the terrorists. It is something which is behind the operators, which is basically the goal for the attack. It is normally the state. It is enough to say or refer to the fact that there are airlines which are registered here and there in certain countries, and independently of the ownership of that airline, the country itself could be regarded as a target when there is an attack. And there is, of course, a knock-on effect, which means that if the interruption is serious, it may have a serious impact on other sectors of the economy globally. Transport is a global activity, and the threat is also a global activity. Terrorism will not stop at the national borders, so we have to deal with that as well. We also have to bear in mind that there are different types of attacks. We are going to hear about that from the panelists, which are concentrating on, which could be concentrating on local traffic, or which could concentrate on international traffic. And sometimes there are common routes of the attacks in certain cases. We have to also be aware of one clear fact. We want to achieve 100% security, but we are not going to be able to do that because technology itself is not enough to prevent us from attacks of this type. There should be other additional elements which are used for the prevention, and these elements are also going to be addressed by some of the speakers, of course. One thing is for sure, failing to prepare is practically preparing to fail, which practically going to have a serious impact on the economy in general terms. With these some ideas which I had in mind and I wanted to share it with you, I would like to turn to the first speaker of ours, who is going to be, and we are not going to follow the sequence of the names here, we are going to follow the sequence of the sitting order here. And our first speaker is going to be Geoff Dunmore, representing the London Underground, which has serious experiences in handling certain terrorist attacks, but at the same time you also have some other serious experiences concerning other types of unlawful activities in the underground. And I have to add to this that he is in a rather special situation because this is a special area where they have to handle a huge number of people in a relatively short period of time. And simply they cannot afford to use those things which are used in the airports. Geoff, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Zoltan. I'll start with a few facts about the challenge that we face in applying security measures in a mass public transport system. If we take London Underground as an example, we deal with 4 million passengers every single day. The throughput of people going through our stations, if you just take one station, Victoria Station, is more per year than uses Heathrow Airport. Which is just one site, of course. And therefore, the way that we have to think about applying security measures has to meet, as Zoltan said, the main purpose of our business, which is moving people from A to B as quickly as possible and giving them ease of access to be able to do that. One of the key things that you can't do with any security measure on a mass public transport system is restrict the passenger flow, because you pay a severe penalty for that.